You're going to leave him up there the whole time? I can't hear you. This is what we get. We didn't do anything. I just started the show and I can't hear Logan. Can you hear me?
It's because my mic was muted. Hey, Craig. How's it going?
Yeah. Hey. It's great,
Just hanging out. Hello. It's us, Craig, Logan. No one asked us. Best Damn Illini Postgame Show. We continue along on the rough stretch that is Illinois basketball in the month of January. But luckily for us, January is almost over, so maybe that changes. Illinois falls in overtime in Nebraska, 80-74. Much better second half than first half. Silver linings all around. That's all I got. How's Buc-ee's?
Haven't been. I miss it. I need a fix. Haven't been in a while.
Have you made it to the Publix down the road? Do they have key lime pie? Let's talk about other things.
We almost went to Publix for lunch today.
Get a pub sub?
No, we like their wings.
Ooh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, whatever. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Illinois, obviously, without Tomislav Ivisic for fourth straight game. I don't know what that mattered in the first half, but the first half was just absolutely atrocious. Few things to note here. Kasparas Jakucionis, 18 points, 10 rebounds, or 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 turnovers. Fine. Will Riley, 16 points. Will Riley showed up tonight. He was 4 for 10 from 3. Illinois as a team was 10 for 42 from 3, which was significantly better percentage-wise from where they started the game. I don't even know what else to say. Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn and Will Riley off the bench combined to score 31 points. That's the bright spot for Illinois in this one. What do you think? Did you have fun watching that? Did you enjoy that? Are you enjoying this part of the season? Anything?
I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
I have so many thoughts in my head, and all of them keep going back to, but is it because Ivisic is out? Is it because Ivisic is out? And then I think that, and then I'm like, no, because the issues, he might solve one issue. The defense is fucking terrible. The in-game adjustments from this coaching staff are fucking non-existent. Nebraska ran the same play 5 times. 3 times they got wide open dunks on that little slip handoff. And then they got 2 wide open alley-oops on the out-of-bounds plays. What are we doing? Like, they obviously found a hole. Make an adjustment. But no, they do it the same thing over and over and over. You don't make any changes. You go into the game with a game plan. It's not working, and you don't change. This is what happens. You go in, you shoot 33s, you make 10 of them, you make 5 of them. Okay, you get hot in the second half. But that's the reason you're down and you have to shoot so many threes is because you keep chucking when you're missing. I know that's the way this team's built. But if it's not working, do something different. Attack the basket. Get to the free throw line. Something.
Yeah. Illinois shot 42 three-pointers tonight, Craig. 42. Illinois did.
The crazy thing is, they shot better than Nebraska.
I know.
The stats, Illinois shot the ball better than the home team. And you lose by 6. Okay, it should have been 8, but whatever that last second layup was, I turned it off. Like, how does this happen? It's not a Visic. It's not.
No.
There is something wrong with this team right now. The offense, how many assists did they have?
7.
Assists. 7 assists on 26 field goals.
And 17 turnovers.
17 turnovers. They're not running plays. They're not running anything. They're passing it 3 times outside the arc and jacking up a 3. Where the fuck did that come from? They're not running in transition. When they did, they got multiple open layups. The one that might have lost in the game is the Trey White wide open fast break. I don't know if it was in the late second half or in the overtime, but it was off of a turnover. He was wide open. He didn't dunk it. He went to lay it up, and it got blocked. I think the game was tied. That would have given Illinois a lead, I think. What happened?
Yeah, close to it. I don't know. It's not Ivisic. I'm certain of that. Would he be needed? Would he help? Sure, absolutely. But we've been doing this now for a couple weeks. They should be able to figure out how to beat teams like Nebraska without him. The other thing to address, Illinois played without Morez Johnson largely for the entire first half. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes. You have no post presence at that point. I'm not saying that solves the problem, but I'm saying it is something this team.
I wasn't rolling my eyes at you. I was rolling my eyes at some of the calls because I think he plays great defense.
I'm not arguing that, but I will say this in defense of Illinois, but there's not much to defend right now. They, for either injury, illness, or we'll call it questionable officiating, Illinois hasn't been complete for weeks. Again, that's not really an excuse for this game. You played a god-awful first half of basketball, and while you did improve in the second half, you outscored Nebraska 39-30 in the second half. Obviously, it still wasn't enough. You shoot 42 three-pointers. You make 10 of them. That improved in the second half, but it wasn't great. You turned the ball over 17 times. You do out-rebound them, which, again, this is a very good rebounding team. But that was about the extent of the highlights for Illinois. The turnovers and the missed threes. And as you said, it's just no adjustments. I don't really know what else to say. This is a team that has a lot of talent. But your star players is a freshman, and you're gonna have mistakes. And the other thing about it is, yes, KJ had however many turnovers tonight, 6 turnovers. It's not like the other veteran guard in the backcourt is making better decisions, because he's not really doing that either. So I don't really know what the answer is. I'm not sure you do either, but it's got to be fixed immediately, because whatever this nonsense was tonight was not good. Was not good. But you did call it. You did. Do you want to take your victory lap or?
Indiana postgame, I said Illinois is going to lose at Nebraska.
And then you said they wouldn't lose at home again, which hopefully they don't do that. But
what's left at home?
Yeah, I don't know.
Left at home.
It's frustrating. This is a game.
They could lose Sunday at home. Ohio State.
Yeah, if they keep playing like this, they
could lose the rest of the home games. Ohio State, UCLA, Michigan State, Iowa, and Purdue. They'll probably beat Iowa. Iowa's awful. But Nebraska's awful, and Illinois just lost to Nebraska. So
Illinois has now won 2 of their last 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2 of their last 6 games.
Is this what you were texting me about early in the game? Like you said.
No. Well, sort of. I was going to. What I was referring to was vibes are off, which has been your.
That was
text.
my other guess.
Yes, but I did allude to that on Twitter later, and I stick by it. This team has. I said it. I believe I said it on this show in the preseason. I was honestly searching for it. I spent most of the last half of the first half searching for that clip on our shows and I couldn't find it. But this team has given me 22, 23 vibes since the offseason. This is just what this team is. It's a team with talent that's a lot of new faces and freshmen that are in key positions, and not that they can't win basketball games and make some noise, but I mean it's definitely has some vibes there to what we've seen in the past. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you just, for a team that relies so heavily on the three ball, when they're not falling, like, they have nothing, and they don't seem to know how to adjust. As you talked about, there's no ball movement, there's no offense. KJ, I feel like sometimes is trying to facilitate too much, and it's incredible that he only finished with 4 assists, because I feel like there were another 6 of them out there that guys just, again, missing wide open shots, which is kind of the nature of this. Ben Hummerkaus, supposed to be your ringer on the outside. 1 point tonight. 7 rebounds for Ben. But he was 0 for 8 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. He made 1 free throw, 1 for 2 at the free throw line.
He was okay. So it got before the regulation ended. Marez Johnson was plus 11 on the day, and Hummerkaus was minus 12. Hummerkaus ended up minus 14. Illinois was 14 points worse with him on the floor tonight. He had a negative game score. His efficiency, which I haven't done my analytics on the show in a while. Efficiency is points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. So the good stuff minus missed shots and turnovers, minus the bad stuff. The good minus the bad. For example, Kasparas had a 20 in efficiency. Trey White had 13. Marez had 12. Any guess on Hummerkaus tonight?
Surprised me.
He had 7 rebounds, so you'd think he'd have a pretty good efficiency.
Fair.
Zilch. 0. The dude brings nothing if he's not making threes. I've said it from the beginning of the year. Brad said he's the best defender they got. He grades out the best defensively. I don't know what Brad's smoking or taking, because it's not true. It's just not true.
Yeah. The problem, though, is I agree with you. He doesn't seem to bring a lot when he's not making shots. Now, he has been rebounding better, obviously. 7 of them tonight. That's proof of that. But this team just doesn't have a lot of size in general.
No, you have to play him right now.
Your biggest player is out sick. Your second post player spent most of the time in the first half on the bench with foul trouble. Ben Hummerkaus is your next biggest guy other than Kerry Booth, who hardly sees the floor even in these moments. So you have to have him out there. Like, you have to have some sort of size. We've talked about Will Riley brings nothing from the strength department. This is a great rebounding team, and Hummerkaus has been a part of that. But I agree. He is a negative out there when he's not making shots. And granted, nobody was making shots in the first half. Illinois in the first half was 3 for 18 from 3. You would think they would make adjustments.
Same guy hit. Was it DGL hit 2?
KJ had 2, and
KJ
Will
had
had
2
1.
in the first half. Yeah.
Second half, they were 7 for 16 from 3. So second half was leaps and bounds better than the first. You have your chances at the end to. I mean, I thought Will's shot was going to go down at the last second. But
that's a whole other
and
thing. Why can't they draw something up to get the ball in bounds? Like, every side out of bounds is a struggle and close to 5 seconds or a turnover. Every single one. Baseline, I think they're pretty good. Sideline, it's like, what are we doing? And I should have said this in my rant at the beginning. 17 turnovers is bad. But I can handle a turnover if it's, not warranted. But these turnovers are they're just taking it from them. Or they're throwing it in the ground. They're not good turnovers, if there is such a thing. They're dumb basketball plays. And I know it's a young team, but we're
that's not all of
25
it.
games into the season.
That's not all of it. Yeah.
These kids are so nonchalant, and I don't know if it's because Brad's got this whole, we're building this team like a pro, like the Warriors shooting threes. It's like, if it's not, it's either wants it to be a dunk or a three. Like, I don't know if that's it, but they just seem like they don't value the basketball. And I don't know how you change that. I don't think KJ is going to change that, because he played pro ball overseas. Like, that's the vibe he's got. So he's going to have turnovers, but 6 of them. I mean, at some point you got to value the basketball, and you can't just, they're dribbling the air out of it. There's did they run any set plays?
No.
I mean, it's ball screens around the arc and a 3. That's all it is.
Yeah. There are times where I look over and they show shots of the bench, and, during timeouts, and there are times where I feel like the loudest presence on the bench from the player standpoint is the player that's not playing this year.
Yeah.
I've noticed that several times the last few games. They show shots, and like Ty seems to be the only one that's like getting in there and being vocal. And he's opting to not participate, which that's his decision. I don't blame him. I don't know where the minutes were coming from, but like, I don't know, man. It's incredibly frustrating. Illinois also scored 4 points in overtime. You get 5 minutes to win a basketball game, and you have 4 points, all of them scored by KJ. I don't. It's just,
they took 12 field goals in overtime. One of them was the last layup, so we're only going to count 11 field goals in overtime. 8 of them were threes. You took 3 shots inside the arc.
Brad doesn't like long twos. What do you want? Do you want him to go to the basket? That's too hard. They can't get there. They don't have I don't even know what to say. I don't know.
Maybe it is an Ivisic thing, because he draws people out of the paint. Like, they're not going to do that with Merez. Their big's going to stay in the paint. So maybe it is Ivisic on the offensive end, but I don't know, man. This team they're average. Like, they're a under 6.5 seed in the tournament.
Can I ask you this? We know this team is talented, but do you think this team lacks a certain level of athleticism to be able to do some of the things you want them to do? Is there somebody on this team that you can like really sit there and say, I trust them to like drive to the basket through traffic, do certain things? Like, I've seen them do it from time to time. Like, the first one that comes to mind is probably Trey White, but he half the time just throws the ball away anyway, or shoots a 3 and misses it.
Are you talking like Terrence Shannon, like just muscle your way and dunk it, or just getting to the rim?
That's part of it. There's obviously no Terrence Shannon on this team. That's obvious. But I'm just saying, just like in general,
KJ has no issues getting to the paint. He's just not going to throw down a one-handed dunk and
but he's also looking to pass it every time he goes there.
Yeah,
he doesn't ever go to look to the basket. He's being a facilitator. Good for him. But you also had 4 assists tonight because your teammates can't make a fucking 3. So, like, I don't know. I'm with you. Now we're both mad. There's a lot of people in the comments. Do we have anybody?
I haven't even. I'm sorry. I was throwing them up earlier. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We're both just kind of like, what is this?
Michael's in here, of course, recapping what Coach
Michael, it's
said.
good to see you.
Coach admits we were not good. Turnovers like middle schoolers. I said that in the group chat. I said this team plays like a junior high basketball team. Said did not follow scouting. And he did say this. Coach warned them about Nebraska running the same play several times. I don't understand college kids not following a scouting report. Like, I know they're student athletes, but this is why you're at Illinois, is to play basketball. Like, yeah, sure, get your grades, have your people take your tests for you and get the good grades, but just listen to what the coaches tell you. Most of the time they know. They watch film. That's their job. They have a scouting report for a reason. Mike just said, Coach going very mad about scouting fails.
We're all mad. It's not just Coach.
Do you see any here you want to show? Cause
I don't know. They've been going pretty quickly.
Here, you might have a good reaction to this one. Michael said, Logan, your dad said at half, I need a beer. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. Yeah, it was bad. First half was terrible. So I hope it was delicious, Tim. I know you didn't drink one, but too many threes and turnovers. Defense is a joke. Brad got out coached. Overtime was embarrassing. All of things are true. Yes. It continues to be a problem. We good? Wife's home. Wife's home. Yeah, I don't know. We could sit here and bitch for another 30 minutes. I don't know that we need to. Like
the last thing I'll say, I know I've kind of gone off the rails. Warranted, I believe. I don't think I'm in the wrong with any of this. To go along with not making adjustments, Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn was kind of the reason this game got to overtime. 8 points, 2 threes late in the game.
Yep. And he
took
pulled
him out.
Yep, for Ben Hummerkaus, who scored 1 point all game. Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense, Logan. Please, make it make sense.
Size is the only thing I could think. But I don't know. It didn't.
I mean, he got pulled for the last possession when you're on offense.
I don't know.
He just hit the 3 to tie the game. Why are you taking him out with 10 seconds left?
Yeah. It's fine. Mark's here. Hello, Mark. This team is intriguing. I could see us being a 60 that gets knocked out by a mid-major 11 or another Elite 8 run. Neither would surprise me. Yeah, same here.
I tweeted that last week.
That's
I said this team is either going to lose to a double-digit seed in the first round, or they're going to make the Elite 8 or Final Four. I do not see any other options.
Yeah. No,
they're not going to win the first game and get bound. Like, they're not going to make the Sweet 16 and lose. They're either going to the Final Four or losing to a double-digit seed. Yeah. If they're good enough to not be a double-digit seed.
They're incredibly inconsistent. 22-23. I'm saying it. I've said it for a while. Those are just the vibes. That's just a young, new team that has its moments and looks really talented at times and looks like a team that's going to be in the bottom half of the Big Ten standings at others, which at this point is kind of where we're trending. So, a lot of basketball still to be played, but this was a rough stretch of basketball. I said it a few weeks ago that this was the stretch of games where you needed to stack the wins. They've done the exact opposite of that. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. I mean, you start your Big Ten season with the January part of it with 3 wins. You out west, you win those 2, and then you come back home and beat Penn State. So you start the season great, and then it just goes downhill from there. USC, blow out Indiana, Michigan State, Maryland, beat Northwestern, and then you lose on the road to Nebraska. Like, this was the stretch where you stack up the wins. This wasn't the hardest part of the schedule. And now here we are, 3 games away from entering what is actually the most difficult part of the schedule, and they still can't seem to get it together. Again, they haven't had a complete roster on the court for a while. So hopefully when that happens, things start to click again. Hopefully they learn something from this experience. They figure out how to play in certain scenarios when guys get into foul trouble and whatever. But, you know, what we talked about last show, playing for the double bye, it's not looking pretty. I don't even have the standings up, but I honestly don't think I care at this point. I think you're playing for a single bye. but there's still plenty of basketball to be played. Are there any positives to take away from this, Craig? Anything?
Will Riley.
Yeah. Will Riley and Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. That was the positives. I mean, KJ obviously 18 points, 10 rebounds, but also his 6 assists or 6 turnovers, which
you got to see more.
costly.
Dre. He played 24 minutes. I know that's a lot, but you got to see more of him. I don't know if it fits lineup wise because then you'll have Boswell, KJ, Dre. Like you can't have all three of them on the floor at the same time. Needing to see more from Boswell. Trey White he's a dog. He had 13 rebounds. Offensively, I mean, you're not getting much from anybody offensively. It's so inconsistent. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
Well, where we're gonna go is
to bed.
Next up is Sunday at home against Ohio State. This is a talented Ohio State team, but this is a home game. At this point, you cannot afford to lose home games. Ohio State has now won 3 in a row after losing 3 in a row. So they just beat Penn State tonight, right before the Illinois game. They also have wins over Iowa, and then they beat Purdue back on the 21st. So this is certainly a dangerous Ohio State team, but it's a home game. Just can't afford to lose them at this point. You just cannot afford to lose the home games. Yeah, I don't know. What is the record right now? 14-6? Is that where we're at?
Who? Illinois? 14-7.
14-7.
From 10 to 16 in KenPom.
Yeah.
I mean, is that another thing? When do we have a conversation about the analytics just
I don't have
not
any
making
idea.
sense?
I don't have any idea what
all of them have Illinois top 10. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand any of that, like how that works, like what Illinois has done to this point in the season to like lock themselves into like a top 20 net ranking, even if they continue to fall to not very good teams. I mean, Nebraska is 46 in KenPom. USC was 67 in KenPom. Now, Michigan State and Maryland are both top 20 KenPom teams. So like those losses don't look as bad. But yeah, like these are just road games in the Big Ten are never easy. And this was an overtime game. So like, if you just look at the second half and overtime, it's one thing. Maybe you can get past it, but just to know how the first half went, how poorly they played, just like really, I don't know. It just adds to all the frustrations that I'm dealing with at the moment. So whatever. You got anything else?
I don't probably, but I don't know.
You want to talk about it? You want to talk through it?
No.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Not basketball related?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. That's great. Well, it's good to see you.
I'm starting to prep for fantasy baseball season. Okay. I made a trade. Did I ask? I don't think I texted you. I texted Lou because I traded. I traded for Sasaki.
Sorry.
What happened?
I had a website open that started playing sounds.
What kind of website?
Bracketologist.com. It was an ad.
I have that open too. I traded for Roki Sasaki and I got Cade Horton in return as well. So I was asking about Horton's injury, if he was concerned or if there were any concerns.
He'll be fine.
But yeah, I got him. So
that's wonderful.
Set for about 5 years with him.
I'm really happy for you. Really happy for you. All right, let's shut this down. Yeah, Illinois loses in overtime in Lincoln to Nebraska, 80-74. Craig called it. Hopefully they don't lose another game the rest of the season.
You want me to call the rest of the season?
Forget about this. Sure, go ahead. Call it right now. Look at the schedule. What's going to happen? Illinois, for what it's worth, is favored in all but now 3 games the rest of the season, according to KenPom. But they have also been favored in most of these games that they've lost. So,
actually, before we go,
there's more.
Michael threw this up. I want to be sure to acknowledge. Good luck tomorrow. My mom just went through the same thing. I know it's not fun.
Good luck, Michael.
So good luck. Good luck. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else. I did ask you earlier, and you didn't answer my question. Over under 6.5 seed.
I don't remember you asking me this.
I think you were talking at the same time, so you probably didn't hear me.
Oh, over under. Would over be a smaller number? Is that how we're going with this?
No.
Under
Higher
would
or
be the
lower.
smaller.
Higher or lower than a 6.5 seed. 6.5 seed.
I still think they're a 5 or a 6 when it's all said and done. But
okay, so
they have to turn it around at this point. So currently, it's not.
I don't know if
pace.
it's just the pessimist in me. I'm saying lose to Ohio State, beat Rutgers, beat Minnesota. I think they beat UCLA at home, lose to Michigan State, lose to Wisconsin on the road, lose to Duke, beat Iowa, and they split with Michigan and Purdue. They'll win one of those and lose one of those. So 5-5 is what I see. So that would be 19-12 and 11, or yeah, that's not 11 and 9 in the Big Ten. 19-12 is not a top 6 seed.
No, it's not. That's like a 7 or an 8 seed. Yeah,
that's where I'm at right now.
I genuinely.
I will say
go ahead.
If Vicic comes back, that could very easily go 7-3, like 8-2. I could see.
I genuinely do think this team will get it figured out. I think that will happen. I think once they are healthy, once everybody's together, playing regularly, they will win basketball games and they'll rattle off several in a row. And they will pull themselves out of this little gutter and hole that they've put themselves in. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they do exactly what you just said. It's a very talented team, but they are obviously just as capable of losing to anybody in the country as they are as of beating any team in the country. You just have to see what they get. And we need Tom Vicic to come back very, very soon. Hopefully that can happen. But
has there been anything about
his mono
status? I know, but like, is there?
You never know with mono.
Yet?
No, it could be a week. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 4 weeks.
Doing one-on-one work.
I believe Piper's story today said that he has been with the team sparingly or something. I don't remember how he phrased it, but like periodically maybe was the word he used. Like he's spending most of his time with doctors and Fletch and oxygen
not just
tanks
like
and
I was gonna say, I'm sure they've got like a sauna or something. Just flush that shit out, man.
Yeah, well,
I'm kidding.
I'm sure the science is there for that, Craig.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will remain optimistic that they will figure things out. But as of where we're currently at, that does not really seem to be where we're trending. So we'll see. But yeah, Sunday, Ohio State. I don't even know when is that game. That is Sunday. What time?
Sunday.
That's at like 1, right? 1 o'clock our time, 12 o'clock Central, I think, something like that.
I believe that's right. So, because last week was the 3 o'clock one.
Yeah. So we'll probably be back for that. But who knows with us?
We will have, it's 1 o'clock. We will be missing some post games in a couple weeks.
Correct. We're going to be missing multiple.
You will be.
I will be.
Out of pocket.
MIA.
We're both going to be on vacation at the same time, by the way.
Where are you going?
We're going to Florida.
That's exciting.
So we are leaving Valentine's Day and coming back the 23rd, I believe.
I'm leaving the 26th.
I might 16th. Hop on in Florida if I'm not doing anything and just talk with the chat if there's anybody. But I know you will be enjoying.
I'll be on a whole different time zone at that point. I don't know if I'm available.
He'll be on his honeymoon, so he'll be busy.
If I'm available, I might join you. But
you're not joining me on your honeymoon.
I don't know what I'll be doing.
No, not happening.
Okay. Apparently, I'm not. Well, I won't be there for that. All right. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
One final time. Nebraska 80, Illinois 74. We'll see you on Sunday for what is hopefully a home win against the Buckeyes. For Craig, I'm Logan. We'll see you then. Goodbye. Good night. Peace, love. I don't know. Sex and candy.